Why the pride now? अब क्या चाहिए? अब क्या चाहिए?
और क्या चाहिए?
मैं बैन हो जाऊंगी।
अब किस लिए pride, boss?
That's a stupid question.
को टॉर्चर किया जाता है.
और love चाहिए. Love is love, you know.
What is legitimate now?
Someone please kiss me. Oh, sorry.
Do you really want an answer to that?
Supreme Court has read down 377, man. Like, it's legitimized. Why are we here for the pride again?
What is this stupid?
Down 377. Why the pride now?
As a straight person, we are here to support everyone here present.
What's the point now exactly? Why the pride now? Despite the fact Supreme Court ने Section 377 को read down कर दिया है और एक legal status दे दिया है to all people from the LGBT community, is it a protest? Is it a celebration? Or do the people over there even know why are they here in the first place? तो पूछते हैं पहला question Pride Parade में. Supreme Court has legitimized 377. It's been read down. Homosexuality is.
I'm gonna ask, what's the point now?
What's the point now exactly?
Okay. Firstly, this is a celebration more than a protest. It's a place that we meet other people from our community. I became friends with probably half my friend circle through Pride events. I'm very privileged. My parents are okay with it. So many people get disowned by their families, all of that. The fight might legally, it still isn't over. Marriage isn't legal yet. But even if legally the fight ends, the fight socially will never end, I think. And even if it does, which I don't think it will, it's always going to be important to celebrate our identities, no?
I mean, I'm definitely stoked by it. I mean, I was actually one of the lawyers on the case, and the day we won it, it was definitely a celebration for us. But I think the fight is
but
now.
Do you think we should stop fighting for
No, I
justice
think
at home, in public? Do you think if I go out on the street holding the hand of a girl, I won't get weird looks from uncles? Do you think that'll ever stop?
Probably getting bored or two.
Yeah, exactly.
Going on the road.
Exactly.
Well,
So we need acceptance not just from the court, we need acceptance from people, we need acceptance from our homes, from our friends. Until we achieve that, we can't stop fighting.
to has to never stopping. For that, can we just look at the camera and say happy Pride and whatever you want to say, fuck you to?
Okay,
Happy
fuck you to homophobia.
Cheers. Thank you.
I guess it takes. I guess this is a social thing. Like people still can't accept it. Maybe Supreme Court has, maybe the law has recognized us, but it's the people who refuse to recognize us. They are like, no, we cannot see these people happy. It took my mom and my parents. I'm out to my parents, and it took me years and years of fighting. It wasn't easy, but we are actually now at a point where we can stand here and not be afraid of somebody just attacking us. And this is the place I feel the safest in, and I couldn't be happier.
Well, cheers to that and all the colors that come with it in life. Can I ask you to look in the camera and say happy Pride with me?
Yes.
Yeah. Happy Pride!
We love you. You are loved.
Criminalization of homosexuality has happened does not mean that discrimination has ended. The discrimination continues to take place on multiple levels, whether that be societal or legislative or judicial, and that is what everyone is essentially fighting for. If you are recognizing that queer people, whether they are gay, homosexual or transgender in nature, if you're recognizing the fact that they are essentially humans and deserve human rights, then we should get the same human rights as our cisgender counterparts, who get the right to get married, who get the right to have adoption, who have property rights, they have inheritance rights. There are specific methods that they can use for getting justice when they're sexually abused or harassed. We don't have those laws, and when they do exist in terms of the Trans Rights Act, there's only a 2-year punishment for sexual harassment of transgender people, which is absolutely insufficient and reprehensible considering the fact that cis women, when they get molested or raped or sexually harassed, there's up to 10 years of imprisonment. So the law in itself is creating a system of graded inequalities, which is what essentially everybody is still fighting against. There you go. Happy?
Really happy. Can you just look at the camera and say happy Pride?
Happy Pride.
Happy
Fuck you all. Fuck whoever I want.
Because it's not over yet. They haven't. It's not legalized to get married. It's not. We can't show public display of affection. I mean, it is legalized just to be legalized, but it's not actually legalized. If you talk to people outside of this parade, they still don't know what gay is, and if they know, it's a very derogatory way. So, we will do it until we are heard.
और क्या चाहिए?
और बहुत राइट्स हैं, right of marriage, right of heteronormativity. Just remove heteronormativity from this because it is not our prerogative to be this. We are parading every year. It just began in India, but it has been going around in the world. And we still see so many hate crimes, so many violence. You can see posters. So it's not over yet. Just because Supreme Court has, passed this law, it doesn't mean that the general public has agreed to it. And we want the general public to know that if they're not agreeing to it, at least don't disagree to our existence. I think that.
Well, that was wonderful and happy Pride to you.
Happy Pride.
Can I just ask you to look in the camera and say happy Pride and fuck you to whatever you want to.
Happy Pride and fuck all the haters.
There are many more things which we want. सिर्फ acceptance देने से नहीं होता है. There are many more changes we want in the law. We want acceptance. सिर्फ एक what we say homosexuality को legalize करने से चीजें ठीक नहीं हो जाएगी. This is just a step. This is just a milestone we have achieved, and there are many more to go. When we have to achieve, we have to marry. Right? जिंदगी में single तो नहीं रहेंगे ना यार. We will not only date people or do things. We have to marry. हमें जाना है, मिलना है लोगों से, शादी करनी है, अपना family बनाना है. There are many more things. So that's it.
Well, cheers to the revolution and happy Pride to you in that case.
Thank you. Same
Can
to
we?
you.
Do you mind looking at the camera and just saying happy Pride and fuck you to whatever you want to say to?
Happy Pride. Fuck you.
समाज तो नहीं माना ना. हम चाहते हैं अभी भी आप दिल्ली में अभी दिल्ली के लोग आप मेरे पास आए हैं, आपको पता है आप बात करने आए हैं, लेकिन दूर बिहार जेडीयू के बिहार के गांव में नहीं दिख रहा. लोगों को पता तक नहीं है क्या है. वहाँ आज भी बहुत बुरी हालत है. लोग बताना नहीं चाहते हैं, लोग सामने नहीं आ रहे. तो वहाँ तक पहुँचने के लिए अभी भी बहुत टाइम है. तो वो एक सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजमेंट से नहीं हुआ. बहुत समाज को साथ आना पड़ेगा.
बहुत बढ़िया. Can I ask like the entire group to just look at the camera and say happy Pride and fuck you to whatever guys you want to say fuck you to? 1, 2, 3.
Happy Pride! Here's the thing. If I want medication, like hormone medication, I need to get at least 3 certificates from different doctors certifying that yes, this person is going through dysphoria. Give them the same drug that any cis person is freely given by any endocrinologist based on their reports. So I have to go through 3 extra steps that cis people do not for the same thing by the same professional that I'm getting like something from. So that's just one of the inequalities, right? The second inequality, I don't know, I'm a trans woman. Am I allowed to marry? You tell me, am I allowed to marry? What is the fucking code? Under what amendment am I allowed to marry? So I don't get married, at least like that's the future for me. What's the other thing? You want to know 3 or 4 other things? Here's the thing. I'm a trans woman. Whenever I go through the Delhi metro, I have to go through at least one woman security guard who's looking at me like, you don't look like you have boobs, so you can't be here. And I have to tell her, the boobs are coming. I am on hormones. I have hormones. I have the certificates. I have 3 certificates from 3 different psychologists saying I am transgender and my dysphoria is real. But that there is no cognition of that. There is no awareness of that, which means, well, Pride and events like this are a place where I can, for 2 hours, feel like a normal member of this society in which everyone is normal, right? When I come to Pride, that is me getting a respite from the otherwise hetero cis normative world. So that is why Pride exists for me, at least, and that's why I'm here. So
Well, I'm shook certainly, and I hope that inclusivity just keeps getting better and better.
cheers, right?
Can we just say happy Pride in the camera, all 3 of us? Well, happy Pride!
Happy Pride.
Supreme Court ने तो बोल दिया है, now it's legitimate. So why the Pride
What
again?
is legitimate? पहली बात तो legitimacy का definition क्या है और दायरा क्या है? पहली बात तो ये, और secondly मतलब what is this question? Like, why not Pride? I mean, just because 377 is done does not mean like there's no other kind of oppression that's out there. Oppression will always be there. And secondly, laws does not mean that there's a societal change. So we, like, thousands of people are here to make their presence felt. So obviously it's not just about the laws. Laws is just like one small part of it. Who's applying the laws? Are the laws even happening in the, जब हम rent करने जाते हैं घर and all of that? What is happening out there? So what is the extent of the laws? How much are the laws are being applied? How much are we getting access to the laws? And there's a lot of dynamics there. So obviously, pride is always going to be there. That's a stupid question.
I'm so glad that was the
That's a
answer.
stupid question.
Supreme Court has agreed to legitimizing homosexual relations. Why are we here again for the pride?
The thing is, if we actually have to have a pride right now, is a reason big enough for you to actually not ask this question anymore.
I am so sorry if I'm putting in the, but happy pride to you.
Yeah, happy
all
pride
the
to you,
rights.
okay.
Anything more on the lines of marital rights, adoption rights, rights towards inclusion?
See, the thing is, they all actually, if you think about it, are basic human rights. And if you are actually not letting a particular group, and you can see it's a rather large group, out of the sphere, then it's fundamentally wrong, right?
Well, happy pride
Happy
to you,
pride
sir.
to you.
Happy pride. बोल दिया है कि ये legitimate है, पर आप क्यों आए हो अब यहाँ पे? अब क्या है यहाँ पे?
मतलब एक हमारी ये एक वो है कि परेड है कि इस तरह की नहीं है कि सबको दिखाने की नहीं है कि हम क्या हैं. हमें भी आज़ादी है, हम भी चाहते हैं, हम भी जीना चाहते हैं, हमें भी चाहिए कि हम भी खुल के जिएं. ये कोई कि आप कोई भी टंस दे कि हमें कोई भी कुछ बोल सकता है, ये नहीं है. कि हम चाहते हैं कि हमें भी समाज में इज्जत मिले. हम अपनी बहुत परेशानियों से इस चीज़ को करके यहाँ तक पहुँचे हैं आज, तो इसलिए हम चाहते हैं कि हमारे जैसे और हैं उनको ये कष्ट ना हो.
तो अब और क्या परेशानी है?
अभी बहुत परेशानी है. सरकार ने मतलब जॉब निकाल दी, तो ये ज़रूरी नहीं है कि सरकार ने जॉब निकाल दी तो सरकारी जॉब होती है. मगर ट्रांसजेंडर पूरा प्रॉपर करने के लिए बहुत एक स्टेट होती है, बाय स्टेट पे उसको टॉर्चर किया जाता है. यस, हर चीज़ तरह की वो होती है.
शादी करने का, बच्चा करने का.
यस, तो उसके लिए बहुत चीज़ होती हैं जो आप शायद इस टाइम पे मैं खुल के नहीं बता सकती. यार टाइम होता तो मैं ज़रूर बताती इस टाइम. हमारे इस टाइम पे ये है कि माइंडेड कि ये जो हमारे फ्रेंड्स हैं जो अपने घरों से छुप के रहते हैं, उनके लिए ये प्रेड है कि वो इसमें आके एंजॉय करें.
Thank you so much.
So the homosexual relations that are legalized now, apparently, they are not yet accepted in society largely, first of all. And secondly, I think there need to be more non-discrimination laws. There need to be more laws around adoption of children by not just homosexual couples, but even other systems of living. I think marriage has largely been a structure which has held back a lot of queer people. And they not only we need to lead into marriage, but also new kinds of systems of living together, having friendships, having relationships, conjugal rights. Everything needs to be rewired, I think. And I think this is not only good for the queer people who you see right now here at Pride, but also for straight people who actually just burden all their anxiety onto queer bodies, imagining that, in a sense, everything that's bad about marriage, everything that's bad about sexuality, everything that's bad about all kinds of institutions of heterosexuality gets burdened onto queer people. What I think is it will not just be queer reform, it will be reform for everyone. If we really listen to what is being said. You must have read the Parcha at Pride. Yes. I mean, we need to have more Dalit people speaking on this mic. We need to have more queer people speaking on this mic, more Dalit queer people speaking on this mic. We need to have more minorities coming up and speaking about their rights. I mean, do you think this, Hindu-Muslim marriage is not queer today? It is. It practically is because of how much oppression it's facing. So I think that, yeah.
Well, in that case, can you just pose to the camera and say Happy Pride just like that with me?
Okay.
Yeah. Happy Pride!
Happy Pride.
Happy fucking Pride!
Because we still don't have the right to marry, no. And our marriages are not legalized. It's not possible for us to adopt. It's not possible for us to have surrogacy and have kids. And we need to have some sort of, protection in the cases of law, in terms of marriages and in terms of having children.
So the pride is a war cry for every
it's still
fight.
A protest. It's still as much as a protest for struggle for rights. It's still not a enjoyment or a celebration,
Well, do you mind looking at the camera and saying Happy Pride?
Happy Pride!
Happy Pride!
Because there are a lot of people who has a lot of questions if they are giving us freedom, so why we are doing this? Agar at the very same time straight people doesn't do these kind of stuff going to the pride parade and doing all this stuff.
बट ऑल आई से कि उन स्ट्रेट लोगों को उतना ज़्यादा सफ़र नहीं करना पड़ता इन कंपैरिजन टू LGBTQI पर्सन, बिकॉज जैसे आप पैदा हुए हो उन नॉर्मल जो लोगों के मन में थिंकिंग रहती है कि इफ़ अ गाय हैज़ बॉर्न देन उसकी बड़े होकर गर्लफ्रेंड होगी, बट नोबडी थिंक्स कि व्हाट इफ ही इज़ अ गे, इफ ही इज़ अ नॉन बाइनरी पर्सन. So that's why we are doing this here, for the acceptance for people, not just for the sake of acceptance. It's for like we just want to live our life, just mind your business, and that's it.
मेरे को चांटा मार दो because I wasn't really minding my business and asking you all these questions.
That's okay. I won't. I'm a kind person. Thank you.
Happy Pride to you.
Happy Pride.
to you. Would it be okay if you can just look at the camera and say Happy Pride? Yes. Happy Pride!
Right? The government has the power that it can, amend the laws, it can, legalize same-sex marriage. But clearly the people who are sitting there, okay, who are full of, absconders and celibates, they will never understand what love truly is. Right? So we have no hope. Supreme Court is the last hope that we have. And that is the reason the Pride has to go on, right? The reason why we're having the Pride is because 90% of the people who are wearing rainbow, right, they did not come dressed this way from the house. The Pride will go on until unless people can dress the way they dress right here in their own houses, in their own universities, in their own offices. That is the reason why we're having the Pride.
What is the next fight for? Adoption, marriage, like what else are we looking?
Marriage, okay, marriage is the next step that we're all fighting for, okay, and after that, we need all the equal rights that everybody has here. We need, all the civil liberties, right? We need coverage of our spouses. We need adoption rights. We need, rights for, how do you call it, like artificial pregnancies.
These things who straight people have. Like everything we want, like, just like normalize. Like, it's just a word. Being gay, being LGBT, it's just a word. It's just nothing कि यार इतना हवा मचाना ये वो. Obviously, pride is everything, art is everything, but it's like we have to say यार, okay, he's gay and it's okay. That's it. And वही चीज़ pride बुलाता है लोगों को. वही चीज़ pride कहता है. Yes, you are the part of our anything community and everything, but as like people, straight people look like कि उनको like हर एक privilege है, like having adoption, children, everything. We don't have. That's why pride is there. That's why we are doing these things. That's why marriage is about to happen. So that's why these things.
Happy Pride, happy Pride. We just want to fuck each other. That's it. Nobody has a problem with that.
Happy Pride and ban straight people. That's it. Not ban straight people. उनका time हो गया अब. हमारा time.
Well, happy Pride.
Thank you so much.
क्या?
सुप्रीम कोर्ट तो मान गया, अब और क्या चाहिए?
और क्या चाहिए? To not be judged by people who are straight.
तो इसलिए प्राइड.
I think the Pride is just a day where you show that we exist. It's not something that would change anything, but it's like we are still here and we are still fighting.
Well, here's to the revolution and to the fight, and happy Pride to you.
So society accepts them. Yeah, it's legitimate, but law does not change mindsets. It changes the law.
Are there more mindsets to be changed, like marriage and all those things? So what do you think like are the things that LGBT community should be asking for now?
Acceptance. And like just to let them be who they are and celebrate them every day, not just like on Pride.
Alright, happy Pride to you.
Yeah, happy Pride to you.
So Supreme Court मान तो गया है, अब क्या चाहिए आपको?
आज़ादी चाहिए. आज़ादी चाहिए और love चाहिए. Love is love, So no matter what, because Supreme Court give us the right? But then people doesn't accept us. So we're doing this so that people can accept us for who we are. And we don't need anything but just acceptance, That's all.
तो acceptance में कानून का कुछ काम?
No, but then people should accept us for who we are. We don't need anything. Not even acceptance actually, but then just let us be who we are. That's all we want.
और जैसा कि आपको दिख रहा है मेरा लुक ब्राइड से इंस्पायर्ड है आज का. ब्राइड बिकॉज आजकल बहुत बात चल रही है ना LGBT में, गे मैरिज राइट, गे इक्वलिटी. आई मीन मैरिज राइट तो सबका हक है ना. सो अभी भी लोग रह रहे हैं एक साथ लेस्बियंस एंड अदर LGBT कम्युनिटी पीपल. बट आई थिंक एक साथ रहे छुप के डर के, क्यों ना उनको सरकार फ्री ही कर दे. अगर सरकार के ही हाथ में है मैरिज राइट्स को येस करना या नो करना, तो वैसे भी तो लोग साथ में रह ही रहे हैं ना. तो क्यों ना येस ही कर दे कि कम से कम लोग खुल के तो जिएंगे, किसी को चीट तो नहीं करेंगे. You know, I mean, लड़के अभी भी शादी कर रहे हैं, गे लोग लड़कियों से शादी कर रहे हैं, तो किसी की लाइफ बर्बाद करे उससे अच्छा है फ्रीडम ऑफ मैरिज होना चाहिए ना, you know. Happy Pride!
Happy
everyone.
Pride!
Happy Pride!
Answering a question, what do you want over there?
What do I want to what?
What do you want over there?
Marriage rights.
Yeah.
Anything more? Adoption rights?
Yes, please.
पहले शादी तो करना है.
Adoption में दूर की
Step
बात
by
है.
step.
Step baby steps.
I like the idea of going there gradually.
Yeah, we know how to take it. So.
Cheers! Happy Pride to you!
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride!
Happy Pride.
Yeah. वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के डिसीजन के बाद फिर भी हम प्राइड परेड 2022 देखने के लिए आए और दिल्ली गवर्नमेंट 8 दिसंबर को फाइनली 8 जनवरी को जब ये हुआ तो एक अलग ही माहौल था. आइए देखते हैं कैसा माहौल था. एक अजीब बात जो देखने को मिली कि जैसे ही ये ख़त्म हुआ उसके बाद दिल्ली पुलिस और सारे सिक्योरिटी गार्ड ने ऐसे सबको बाहर निकालना शुरू करा जैसे यहाँ पे कुछ गैर कानूनी हो रहा. So we from Adjourned are trying to cover the Delhi Pride Parade 2022. Let's see what the response is like. We asked a lot of people, queer and both straight people, that why are they here in the first place? Because 377, after getting struck down, is there more to fight for? Let's find out.